Hi, everybody. Welcome back to One Tourism World 2026, our global tourism conference. One Tourism World brings together decision makers across tourism, hospitality, travel, destination, experience design, technology, data, and investment. It is a global platform that accelerates collaboration, surfaces practical insights, and turns relationships into partnerships that strengthen the overall tourism economy. The 2026 Global Tourism Conference convenes this community around the most important priorities shaping the sector right now, including the ever-increasing travelers' expectations, operational performance, digital transformation, investment and development, and destination resilience. Our goal is to move beyond commentary and focus on what leaders can do to implement to drive better outcomes for their organizations, travelers, and the places that welcome them. So we're very happy to welcome here to the platform, our One Business World platform, Alex Bastian. He is the president and CEO of the Hotel Council of San Francisco, and we're going to talk and have a conversation about the San Francisco investment case and the opportunity. And there's probably no more popular place, Alex, than San Francisco right now, coming out of Sunday's game. So good afternoon, welcome. Maybe you want to just give us a little bit of an overview of just your operations and how the council works.
Certainly, Glenn, and thank you so much for having me. And I have to agree with your assessment on the Super Bowl. Even though the Niners didn't play, San Francisco won the Super Bowl because the world came here and saw the city for themselves and really experienced the magic in this place. As you mentioned, Glenn, I am the CEO of the Hotel Council of San Francisco. We are an independent trade organization. San Francisco, of course, historically has always had a very vibrant and strong hospitality industry. This city definitely has so much magic in the air and some great bones when it comes to travel and hospitality. We have the best airport in the country. We have some of the best food in the world, some of the best sights and scenes in the world, temperate climate. We're a gateway to Asia. We're a gateway to the world when it comes to technology, incredible architecture, the cable car, the Golden Gate Bridge, and so many other things that makes this place an amazing destination, whether it's for transient travel or big events. We have about 30,000 hotel rooms within a walking distance or a cable car ride to our Citywide Convention Center, our baseball park, our basketball arena. And, at the end of the day, Glenn, we're a tight-knit community here in San Francisco. And the Hotel Council represents the broader hospitality community of the city. We are, of course, the lion's share of the hotels in San Francisco and regionally as well. We have the Oakland Marriott, which is an incredible property in Oakland, very well run. We have SFO hotels. We have hotels in the North Bay. And we also have strategic partnerships with very important partners of ours, whether it be Alaska Airlines or United Airlines, of course, the Golden State Warriors, the San Francisco Giants in our sports world, and our technology partners, whether it be Waymo, whether it be Expedia, and so many others. And we believe in the simple concept that working together to put our city first is a winning strategy. We work with our partners in the business world. And of course, we closely are aligned with our mayor and our DA and our police chief, our fire chief, because we believe that collaboration and cooperation really yields results.
Alex, I've been doing some teaching the last couple of years, and we one of them is a sports finance class. So we actually watched in yesterday's class a brief TED talk on the last time you got the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 50. So you guys specialize in round numbers, and they were talking about the level of effort that goes into just that pitch and to get it. And then, it's all well and good to win it, but then, as you said, you need all of that infrastructure ready to go and to turn on a dime, whether it's transportation, whether it's the hotels themselves, restaurants, right? You think of public safety, all of that, it plays into hosting such a mega type of event like the Super Bowl. So congratulations on a very successful couple of weeks, I'm sure, in and around the game, and then obviously just the overall allure of the city. As we were mentioning, kind of in the warm up here, I was out in June, and we were really impressed with just how great everything was, and said okay, it was June, so a little spoiled on the climate, but just everything about the city, the place. Yeah, I said we even discovered a couple of restaurants I wouldn't have gone to that were just like you said, a cable car away ride away. We did notice a bunch of Waymos, so that was a new development for me. It's like, wait a minute, they're climbing in the back and there's no driver. I don't know if that would be for me, but that they were pretty plentiful in and around the city. So congratulations on all that success. How about, you look at brands, and you look at the reasons keep people come, right? You mentioned your convention center, and I've been there for conventions. I've been there for leisure trips like this to go out and see beautiful noise in June. I've been there for business trips that are, smaller business trips, not necessarily conference. How do you manage all of that? How do you keep your constituents, all the hotels that participate in representing that market and being responsive to it?
Yeah, that's a great question, Glenn. And what's so great about the hotels here in San Francisco and the leadership in these hotels is they're a competitive bunch, and they've been through a lot these last few years, but they come together like no other when it comes to the interests of our city and our industry. And when it comes to citywide conventions, the big hotels really do step up in order to ensure that they have a great event when these interests come to town, right? And what's so great about it also, Glenn, is a lot of people don't think about this, but we have the biggest hotel in California here. The Hilton and Park 55 together have about 3,000 hotel rooms. They have a lot of convention space. And so even before something becomes a citywide, if you are, let's say, at the 5 to 10,000 attendee number, when you're at the 2 to 3,000 attendee number, or less even, the Hilton Union Square is a great venue, right? And it builds into a citywide, right? And so what we have here are just incredible bones and just a great attitude as an industry, very welcoming. We want you to come here. And I have to give a special shout out again to our mayor, our city leadership, the police department, the fire department, the district attorney, because they put in all the city workers as well. You mentioned transportation. All the city workers here put in a lot of work and put a lot of emphasis in this industry. And the Super Bowl, again, like you mentioned, was a perfect example of that. Because honestly, Glenn, there's no better marketing tool than people coming here and experiencing San Francisco for themselves. Trust your eyes. Don't trust what you hear about our city. Experience the city, experience the magic of the city. And a lot of people are going home saying, wow, what an amazing place that city, San Francisco is. And by the way, Glenn, when I do say San Francisco, I have to say it's the San Francisco Bay Area. We're more than a conglomeration of bridges and BART tunnels. We're a distinct culture with a distinct region. And what's good for San Francisco is good for the whole region. And so we're working together to put the region first as well, Glenn.
Yeah, and that goes again to the transportation piece you mentioned. When we came in June, we got downtown pretty easily through BART, right? We were able to navigate that. I've done business down the peninsula a little bit, down in San Mateo, and it's all accessible. Whether it was and by the way, the Caltrains are terrific. I mean, they're all electric now. I mean, it's like you're on Amtrak. You've got tables, it's comfortable. Even if you've got to ride for a half hour, you got plenty of spots to do work. So it's really easy in, easy out. You're able to move around and go back and forth, and you're not limited to just, I have to stay in this general vicinity. And I was out, you talk about even bigger events. I was out, I guess about 15 or 18 months ago for that giant APEC conference.
Oh, were you here for that?
Yeah,
In 2023.
that was a lot of people. That was a lot of people. I got to
Yes,
go.
Glenn.
I got to go to the big dinner at the St. Francis in the ballroom, and that was pretty impressive. And you had the secretary. She was the Fed person as well. She was there. She gave the keynote at dinner. You had one of the old
I believe it the
people.
Secretary of the Treasury, right?
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, Janet Yellen. Yeah, she was
Yes.
there. Yeah, you had the Eagles former lead guitarist. He was the entertainment. It was like, wow, this is pretty impressive. So it's you're right. Believe your eyes, right? It's a great story. How about from an investment standpoint? How about new people coming in, new investors working on maybe either new bills or rehabs or taking over properties? What kind of experience have you been seeing the last couple of years?
Well, Glenn, I think I have a lot to say about that. And before I get into that, there's one more thing I'd like to add because it really speaks volumes about both the Super Bowl, APEC kind of weeks that you mentioned, and also the greater kind of issue of whether San Francisco is a great investment. And that is the most important thing, that San Francisco has been heading in the right direction for the last couple of years around the issues of clean streets, safe streets, and being just a little bit more business friendly. And we've been seeing that ever since 2023. And we've been moving this boulder collectively in that right direction by not only working together to put our city first, but engaging in common sense and civic pride. And when San Franciscans do that, Glenn, we're unstoppable. And I've seen this before, having lived through the '89 earthquake here and the two tech bubbles. As soon as people count us out, the city starts engaging in common sense and civic pride, and we really come back to a place that's better and stronger than before. In fact, in 2023, I wrote an op-ed, Why San Francisco is a Great Investment. I was on CNBC. I was on the media circuit. A lot of people were questioning at that time whether San Francisco could ever get it together. And what I told people is, I think San Francisco is a great investment, not only because of the historical context of what has happened after the '89 earthquake and the two tech bubbles, but because at that time I started noticing that my fellow San Franciscans are starting to engage in common sense and civic pride again, and that we are going to get our city on the right track when it comes to safe streets, clean streets, and being a little more commonsensical around business. And sure enough, 2024 was a year where we saw a lot of improvements on all of those issues. And we saw, again, even more improvements in 2025 around those issues. And it really starts, of course, with San Franciscans. It starts with San Franciscans and what they do on their street. It starts with San Franciscans in terms of what they do at the ballot box. It starts with San Franciscans when it comes to how they speak about our city. And as a next step, it starts with Bay Area residents as well in terms of how they feel about our city, because at the end of the day, San Francisco belongs to them as well, right? So we have seen a lot of steps in the right direction, pushing that boulder forward. The work is not done. We need to keep pushing that boulder forward. We don't want the boulder to come backwards. We got to keep pushing it in that right direction. And I would venture to say, Glenn, that we are the only city in the West Coast. In fact, the only city that's, I think, perhaps a progressive city that is heading in the right direction around these three big issues. And so as a result of that, naturally, San Francisco has become a great investment, right? And what I mean by that is, of course, there are many properties that are going for maybe 35, 40% of what they were worth before COVID. And because the city is not only rebounding, but coming back strong every day, it really sets up great opportunities for people to make a lot of money on their investment in the long run, as long as they see this as a long-term investment. And we saw the Hilton and Park 55, the Hilton Union Square and Park 55 recently turn. New ownership came to town. We're so grateful and thankful to NewBond for coming into this particular jurisdiction and taking a massive leap of faith. But I do think that it's not just a leap of faith. I think the numbers speak volumes. They were able to acquire these properties for $408 million. Of course, that is a great, great deal given what it was worth before. And we also saw Blackstone hotels come in and acquire the Four Seasons on Market Street. And we're so grateful to Blackstone for coming in. They're great as well, great ownership, very thoughtful people. They know the market. And with NewBond and with Blackstone, I personally think not only have they invested in our city, which benefits our city, not only will they continue to invest in our city, whether it be construction and really like neighborhood focused issues. But I think that's great for us, but I think it's really great for them and their stakeholders, because in the long run, I do think they're going to get a pretty sizable return on their investment.
Well, those are some great names, right? Great confidence boosters as they come in of varying sizes. And you mentioned the Greater Bay Area too. I think that's important too, because let's face it, if you live the other side, the other side of the Bay Bridge or the Golden Gate Bridge, you look to come to the city, and I remember growing up, that was the old right, that was the emblem for the Warriors, right? It was called the city. I mean, that was always the way the emblem was, right? And they had the bridge as part of it all those years ago. But even though you're a quote unquote local or more regional, uh, they're gonna come downtown as well, right? They're gonna come and hey, I've got an event, I got a wedding at such so hey, let's stay over for the wedding. I've got dinner, I've got brunch, I've got tickets. They're gonna come in, and kudos to your theater district. As I mentioned, we were down in November, June, and it was down by the Golden Gate Theater. What a great, vibrant part of the city, and easy to get to too. Not wasn't it wasn't it wasn't it wasn't a tough stretch to get there either on the other side of the city, but pretty convenient. But so even the Bay Area and bringing those people regionally back into the city, that's an important market, I would think, as well.
It's 9 million strong, Glenn. And this last December, I think was a perfect example of what we saw. We did a staycation campaign. We partnered with our mayor and the hotels, of course, really want to engage in that civic pride. There are no better partners when it comes to our city than the hotel community of San Francisco. And what we did is we did specials, whether it be half price parking or free parking or 10 to 15% off your hotel room for the month of December, so that people can come and experience the magic of the holidays in San Francisco. And December naturally is a time where we don't have any citywide conventions. The calendar is pretty light when it comes to that. There are only a couple citywide events at that time, and they're relatively small. And so it's a win-win for everyone. And we saw people come from around the Bay Area and really as far as Sacramento and Fresno. We saw them come back to our city, driving into our city. And let me give you some facts too, Glenn, about the safety of our city. Our city is so safe. We've seen massive reductions in crime in 2025. In fact, one of the things I remember seeing are stories and really complaints from glass repair shops that have seen such reductions in their business because auto burglaries are so down in San Francisco. That's a great statistic. I'm sorry to hear about these small businesses that are suffering across the board, but when it comes to a glass repair shop complaining that they can't replace glass because auto burglaries are down in our city, I'm very happy to hear about that, right? And so we are experiencing 60-year lows in homicides, 22-year lows in auto burglaries, and kudos to, of course, the police department, the police chief, the district attorney. Our district attorney is incredible. She's very common sense. Kudos to them for really holding people accountable. And really an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure as well when it comes to this. And while we're at it, Glenn, we have some great people that are not in city government that have also been so incredible about this. And this is someone who I very much respect. He's a friend of mine, but I say this as objectively as possible. We have someone who's really made such a huge impact. His name is Chris Larson. He's a very wealthy San Franciscan. He went to San Francisco State University. He went into the world of tech, and he can live anywhere in the world, but he chooses to live in his hometown of San Francisco. He gives back so much. He's invested in civic pride campaigns. He gave San Francisco State $25 million. When you talk about the best investment San Francisco State has ever made, it's accepting him into college, in my opinion. And he gave a lot of money to San Francisco's police department so that we can have a real-time crime center where now more than ever, the city employs technology tools to really kind of approach crime. And as a result, we are seeing record lows in crime. We want people to come here and see it for themselves, Glenn.
I've done well recently tours of like the police academy here in New York, the New York area, and it's amazing. It's policing now is a lot of it's data, it's technology, it's sound, it's not just while at its core it's always being on the beat and things, but it's become this transformative process because of technology and being there before it happens, right? And that's important. So let's talk about technology. How about for your council and your membership? How are they responding to those increasing expectations around not just like Wi-Fi, but just the whole technological kind of backbone of travel as to how it is, and whether that's hooking in with the airlines and all of that, but reservation systems and things. How has your group responded to that?
We have a technology committee at the Hotel Council. We created that recently in order to really kind of take on the reality of what the present is, especially in San Francisco. And it's designed to bring on technology companies to help us. And it's also designed so that technology companies can be benefited to learn from the hotel industry, right? And what's so unique about our city is, for us, maybe some of the novelties have worn off in some capacity, but people come here, they see the Waymo, they see kind of the technology firsthand here in San Francisco, and they're shocked, right? And they really learn from us what's possible. And for us, we are so entrenched with technology that our big event that's coming up in June 18th, actually, is our Women in Leadership event. And the title of the event is Human Leadership in an Intelligent World, right? Where we're marrying these two massive industries and these very important concepts, right? Hospitality always will have a human touch, but the world has changed, right? Whether it be the front desk and the calls coming in, whether it be finding AI tools to help co-pilot you through the process to give the best service possible. So many things are different today. And we don't want to, of course, totally change what people want. But what we want to do is we want to increase efficiencies. We want to increase service. We want to find ways to really focus in on problem solving when it comes to our technology tools, while at the same time having that human touch and experience that is so vital to our industry.
When I worked at the New York Stock Exchange, I mean, we were always the trading floor, but we used to come back and remind people that it was the way we viewed it was high tech, high touch at the same time. So you're not missing any sort of beat on that. I mean, I'm a little bit old fashioned, so I get all the emails. Do you want to check in now digitally? And it's like, I don't know. I kind of like walking into the lobby. I kind of like going to the desk. To me, and sometimes, if you do go, more frequent, you develop a relationship with the folks that work there as well. There's nothing better than being welcomed back, to a place. You're going to be there for 3 days or 4. It makes you feel at home. It makes you feel welcome, and that personal touch is always so important.
Well,
So
I'm going to one up you on that, Glenn, because it's not just the hotel workers and management that are going to welcome you here. It's San Franciscans that are going to welcome you here. And, I have to give a shout out first and foremost to our mayor, Daniel Lurie. In addition to, of course, all his duties as mayor, what he does better than anyone is he really markets the city as well, right? He welcomes businesses from around the world, and he welcomes really with open arms any investment in San Francisco. And he goes to every citywide convention, and he welcomes people from around the world at those events as well. And so this is a very welcoming city, a very hospitable city. We want you to experience the magic firsthand, and come see why this city has been just an incredible destination for decades now. Since 1849, this city has really kind of been shining bright on the world stage. There's gold both literally and figuratively in the ground. And the real gold is in the heart of each and every San Franciscan.
100%, 100%. The how about branding? How about branding? Now, I would assume, just from my own knowledge and being there, recently and always been a traveler to it. How about, and there's a difference, right, between the ownership and the operators of the hotel, right? How about from a, like, let's take a step back and just talk about the brands and stuff. How do you see obviously you've got boutique type of hotel, but you've also got the Hilton, you mentioned Hilton. I said
Marriott,
we've got
Hilton, Hyatt,
Marriott, right?
ISG,
They're all,
Sonesta.
how do you as the council kind of interact with the big brands as they look to either come to the city if they're not there already, and I'm sure most of them are. But when you look at some of the brands, right, there's such a level now of offerings, right? Whether you go from the St. Regis, and I've been to that one by the center. Oh my God.
The best St. Regis in the
It was my
world.
wife's
Actually,
it was
the
my
general
wife's special
manager
birthday
received
present. And
the
it was
general manager received an award for being the best general manager of any St. Regis in the world last year. His name is Roger. He's incredible.
I was there just when it opened, and it was one of my wife's, without mentioning her age, special birthdays, and it was it was incredible. It
It
was
is incredible.
it was
Yeah.
just incredible. So, how about the brand interaction and the big players and the small players? And as they look across the city, do they ever seek your counsel? Like, okay, well, we got the St. Regis over here, but look, we've got somebody interested in the courtyard, or we've got somebody interested here on that level, or maybe a Holiday. How do you help guide them as to what might be available and what might be a good match?
Glenn, I love the brands and I love the owners. And in the past, in the old days, in the 90s, perhaps, a lot of the owners lived here. And, some of the brands were headquartered here, right? At the time, I think Kimpton was headquartered here. It subsequently
Yeah.
became, obviously, IHG. But, the point I'm really emphasizing always is here more than ever and more than anywhere else, we're working together to put our city first. The people here from Marriott, from Hilton, from Hyatt are so incredible, Glenn. The brands, of course, do very well during tough times in comparison to boutique hotels, right? And in 24, 22, 23, 24, really 2024, we had very hard times here in the city when it comes to the business side. And of course, the brands also had a hard time, but they were able to withstand it better with the loyalty programs, whether it be Bonvoy or Honors and so forth, right? But what we see now coming up is just kind of the expansion of our travel base and our hospitality base. And you're right, like the products that are here, whether it be high-end five-star hotels or maybe more boutique kind of hipster hotels, there's such a wide cross section of options for a traveler. And what that really does is it helps your city provide for these citywide conventions, but it also gives you diversity in terms of the type of people that will end up coming to San Francisco, right? And so we're so grateful for that. And what we're now seeing, which we hadn't seen for a few years, is again a rebirth of new hotels, new construction. A couple of years ago, we had the J Hotel, which is a Marriott property, Marriott Rewards Program property. We're so grateful. It's very well run, beautiful. But now we have an independent hotel starting up, the Huntington. It's Highgate, owned by Flynn Properties as well. We're so grateful for Greg Flynn. He's a native San Franciscan. He's a great guy. He's investing heavily in that. It's going to open up pretty soon. It's going to be beautiful. And we're now looking at some other properties as well. There's the Hearst building. We're partnering with them to ensure that they can open up a very, very nice boutique hotel. We don't know what brand it is going to be just yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be a very luxurious brand. And so, again, I'm very grateful to all the brands. I'm very grateful to the regional head of Marriott's. His name is Cliff Clark. He's also the general manager of the Westin St. Francis, a very well-run hotel. Because, Cliff and many others as well, of all the brands, work in such an amazing way, really being competitive when it comes to business, but also working collaboratively when it comes to the well-being of the industry.
That's important, right? I mean, everybody wants the customer, but from an industry standpoint, they're all in it together, right? The bigger the pie, the more slices, right? The old story, right? It's not just a stationary kind of object here. As you build and you grow and you get larger and pushed out. Any particular hot neighborhoods? Not to put you on the spot, but I think of you think of the Embarcadero, you think of Fisherman's Wharf, Nob Hill, Russian Hill, obviously where you are, Union Square, my beloved St. Francis. Thanks for mentioning them. Any particular hot spots in the city?
Glenn, they're all hot. And what I encourage people to do is always stretch their trip for an extra day and go see the rest of the city as well, right? There's so many parts of the city that are so unique based on the neighborhood, and they're all easily accessible. You had mentioned the Muni Pass that people can
Yeah,
get,
yeah.
where for between $12 to $14, they can hop on a cable car, they could go on the underground, they can go anywhere in the city, and it's such a great opportunity to explore. This city is very small. A lot of people forget that it's a city and county, and it's 7 miles by 7 miles. And so in those 49 square miles, there's just so much to see and explore. As far as hotels go, all the hotels are amazing. I mean, they all have a unique touch, a distinct scent, a distinct signature, a distinct lobby. And there's so many hotels to explore. Like even where the St. Regis is located. We just talked about how amazing the St. Regis is. There are two other hotels that are just as incredible in their own right, literally right next to the St. Regis. There's the Hyatt Regency Soma, that's so incredible. There's the W, that's so incredible. Both very well run hotels. There are many hotels on the Embarcadero you had mentioned. We talked about the J, but of course, there's so many hotels. The Hyatt Embarcadero does a great job. There's, of course, the Omni, very well run. There's so many things to see there. There's a Four Seasons there. I could go on and on. There's so many hotels, Glenn, and I would be remiss to not mention them all. But at the end of the day, what we have here is a unique market, a unique community, and a unique city. And for all of the national hoopla about San Francisco, a lot of people came here and they said, wow, this city is an enigma in the best sense of the word, right? That enigma is something people need to experience for themselves. Let me leave you with this. Come to San Francisco, taste San Francisco, experience San Francisco, and leave your heart here in San Francisco, Glenn.
You and Tony Bennett, right? You and Tony Bennett. You're right. It goes from one end of the city to the other. And you mentioned that Muni Pass. We got on the bus and we got off at the cliffs at the end. Whatever the end of that, I forget but it goes all the way to the point. And it was there's the Pacific Ocean, right? We went to the Castro district and we did the underground, and that was easy. A whole different type of neighborhoods and beautiful homes over there on the side streets, just incredible, and some really great places to eat as well. So congratulations on all your success for all that the council is doing. Maybe just one last question, if you got a second.
Sure, one last one.
Um, how about sustainability? Because you think about San Francisco, you think about the natural resource, the beauty of it. How about from an industry standpoint? How connected are you on sustainability efforts with the hotels, with the properties?
We're leading efforts around sustainability in the country. We are the only jurisdiction that has a good faith effort put in around 100% renewable energy usage in the hotels, around zero waste in the hotels, net zero, and around having electric vehicle charging options in the hotels. And so we, of course, do this in a collaborative nature with our Department of Environment. We also take into account the business side of this, but we are the only jurisdiction in the country that has those three things. And we're very passionate about it. We actually have a sustainability committee that works on these issues. And it's so funny, Glenn, everything you're bringing up, it's totally not by coincidence, but it wasn't planned. You're asking me these questions about technology and sustainability, and our hotel council has a passionate group of board of director members who engage in this work. And as a result, we have committees that not only advise the council on these things, but actively work in these spaces as well.
Cutting edge for sure.
We're trying to be. The goal is to be narrowly tailored. The goal is to be the best partner we can be. We know that the mayor and so many others at City Hall are working diligently for our city. We know that this industry is one of the two big industries in San Francisco. We have other industries too that are coming up and doing well, but whether it be hospitality or tech, we need to do well for our city to do well. And of course, I believe wholeheartedly we need to diversify our economy here. But at the end of the day, if hospitality does well, our city does well, and we need to do what we can ourselves. We need to hold ourselves to the highest standard possible, and when we do so, we help our city as well.
No, it's a tremendous effort. It's a collaborative effort, and it's a successful effort. So, Alex, thanks for joining us here at One Tourism World. Great set of comments. Thanks for sharing all your industry insights. Good luck to you and the council. Congratulations again on the last couple of weeks, and certainly this weekend's giant event. And we wish you nothing but more prosperous success in the future. And thanks for all that you do.
Thank you, Glenn. See you all in San Francisco. Take care.
See you soon. Take care. Thank you. Bye.